Hello there, everybody. I hope you're all having an absolutely amazing July day today. Hey, it's still a little bit hot, so it's so much fun to stay indoors when the heat gets way too much outside. But us gardeners, we still need to be doing something with plants, right? So we're going to look at houseplants today. I've got some fabulous houseplants in here at Cottage Gardens. Some of my favorites are here, and there's some really cool, unusual ones too. You're going to really want to see it. So we're going to go over my 3, 4, 5 favorite houseplants, how to care for them, and how to care for houseplants in general. Now don't forget, I'm Fionuala here in Zone 9B, and our Zone 9B is coastal. We get fog. Most of us don't have air conditioning, but we do have fans. And if you got fans running in your home, that can affect your houseplants. So follow along. I'm going to share all the secrets of growing great, healthy, thriving houseplants. You're not going to want to miss it. So come on in. I got to start with the coolest houseplants I've got right here, right now, because I just can't get enough of them, and they're amazing. And you do have something in common. Watch and see. So this one, first off, this, can you believe it, is a philodendron. Look at this. Look at the shape of the leaves. Look at the coloration of the leaves. And you can tell, this is a vigorous plant. You can already tell, even at the size of it now, that it's going to be big and fabulous and gorgeous. But I absolutely love the big shape of that leaves and the variegation. It's not quite variegation, it is mottling. It's philodendron Calkins gold, and it's so bright it cheers up dark corners for you. So that's #1 pick for cool plant. But to be honest, this is probably #3 on my list. #3. Next up, we have a pothos that is absolutely stunning. This here is Pothos mandula. There's so much white variegation on the foliage that it's positively shiny. It's absolutely amazing how much white you're going to see on the leaf, but not just white. You've got this sea green and also a darker green going on too. Like all pothoses, mandula is pretty easy to take care of. It's going to grow nice and big and send out tendrils, and it is just so beautiful to look at. You almost want to pet it. And then finally, the pièce de résistance, come over this way. Look at this beauty. Just look how big and gorgeous and amazing it is. Talk about vigorous. Talk about variegation. Talk about a happy, easy to grow plant that is the hottest topic right now. This is a Monstera, and it's called Thai Constellation. And this one is approximately 3-4 feet tall and at least 5 feet wide. It's exhibiting enormous leaves. Each leaf on this is probably 2.5-3 feet long. Excellent fenestration, which is those little windows in each leaf. And it's absolutely an amazing plant. Now, I'm growing babies of these too, because this would be quite a commitment to take home, even try to get home in your car. And I absolutely love it right here. I don't mind if it doesn't go anywhere. And I am growing some babies so that you too can grow something like this. So those are my top 3 most exciting houseplants that I've got here at Cottage Gardens right now. The one thing those 3 have in common is the variegation of the leaves, but also just how easy they are to grow. They are not fussy, like all houseplants, and we'll talk about a few others today too. They like bright, indirect light. Light is key. Plants are basically like solar panels. They've got chlorophyll in their leaves, and that chlorophyll needs light to give the plant energy. So these plants all want bright, indirect light. Stick them in a hot, sunny window. They are not going to be happy. The foliage is going to cook, especially some of the ones with the variegation. If you have a houseplant with variegation, That variegated foliage can be a little more tender than the regular straight green foliage variety. Excuse me. But yeah, these guys are easy to grow. The Philodendron Calkins Gold, the Monstera Pothos, and this glorious Monstera Thai Constellation, all easy to grow, which is wonderful because the prices are still on the high side right now because they're relatively new introductions, but they're so spectacular that they're kind of worth it. We cover the light needs of those 3 wonderful plants. Each one of them wants bright indirect light, and they're going to be thrilled to bits. Let's discuss watering. Okay, so if there's no one size fits all or one method fits all for houseplants in general, you don't want to just put all of your indoor jungle on the exact same watering schedule for a number of reasons. One, your houseplant might be in a 4-inch pot, one of them. Another one might be in an 8-inch pot. Another one might be in a 7-gallon pot like this beauty right here. So you don't want to just give same amount of water to every single one. You're going to drown some, you're going to dry out others. Look at each and every one of your individual plants and stick your finger in the dirt. Stick your finger right in there. All the plants I've got in here right now, well, no, not all of them. There's a couple of varieties, which I'll share with you in just a minute, that you really only need to water once a month. The rest of them, pretty much on the similar sort of a schedule of checking. But of course, we do keep an eye on the weather. And if it's been hot outside, we have the fans on inside, which dry out the plants even more. So during hot weather, we really do check even more frequently. And how do you check? You stick your finger right in the soil, your actual finger. I don't trust moisture meters. I've had so many people bring in moisture meters and say they've killed their plants. And I have stuck moisture meters in a glass of water and they're saying it's completely dry. So I can see how it can happen. But using your finger, using your eyeballs, using your brain, you can tell when your houseplant needs water. Now, it should be dry up to the knuckle, totally dry. For all of the 3 that I've been talking about, the Philodendrons Calkins Gold, Monstera Thai Constellation, and the Monstera, all of them want to dry out a little bit between water. And then, when they have dried out a little bit between watering, but they're not dry as a bone, then you're going to water them very, very generously. Now, I'm not going to demonstrate with this guy because honestly, I cannot lift it. But I'm going to pick a smaller houseplant to show you how to do that watering. This other gorgeous philodendron, let me introduce you to Painted Lady. She's got that beautiful mottled golden green foliage, just like the Calkins Gold, but she's darker green. But she's got an extra little interesting coloration in that her stems and the leaf stems and stalks are beautiful pink. Really, really pretty. Anyway, I have stuck my finger in. It's definitely dry, and it's time to water this sweetie. The best way of watering is to take the plant out of its decorative pot and take it to a sink and water it thoroughly. Let me show you. Okay, so I stuck it in the bathroom sink here because what you're aiming for is you're really going to soak this plant thoroughly and let it drain. See where the water is coming out? You really want to soak it and let it drain completely. What I do when I'm at home and there's no other people trying to get at the bathroom sink, I leave it there for 20 minutes or so. What I'm going to do here, we're just going to leave it. It's nice and quiet right now, and we'll leave it to make sure it drains completely, because houseplants hate sitting in water. They really hate having their roots sitting in a saucer full of water. Not good for them at all. And in fact, more houseplants are killed by overwatering than underwatering. As you build up your indoor jungle, you're going to get to know each and every one of your plants a little bit better. Leaving aside my 3 top favorites today, we're going to talk about other houseplants' watering needs. Now, it's pretty obvious when you think about it. A fern, one of your houseplant ferns, this is a heart fern, which is so pretty. Ferns need more water than many of the other houseplants. So you're going to want to put them on your checking schedule far more frequently than some of your other ones. I've gathered all my ferns in the one spot over here at Cottage to make sure I don't forget any of them. And that way I check them, you know, there's none tucked away over there that I'm going to forget about. I get to check them more frequently. A lot of times too, very helpfully, the houseplant companies will pot their ferns up in a potting mix that holds moisture a lot better, so that does help. But sometimes the mix isn't quite moisture retentive enough, and this poor baby got forgotten about the other day. Obviously, look what happens when you don't stay up in your watering. Now, we were really hot yesterday. It was 92 degrees. We had the fans going all day, and this poor creature got forgotten about. However, one thing I have found out about heart ferns is they do make a really good recovery. You just need to cut off the worst of the leaves, really commit to watering them incredibly readily, and then new foliage pops up and it begins to look great again. See how this lovely plant has completely stopped dripping? It's time to stick it back in its decorative pot now. It's going to be so happy and hydrated. And that lovely philodendron will just need checking again in about 5 or 6 days. If you want a houseplant that doesn't need a ton of water, if you err on the more neglectful side of being a plant parent, I've got a couple of plants that you really need to know about. Starting, of course, with the mother-in-law's tongue, or the snake plant. These beauties come in a range of gorgeous hues and shapes and forms, but every single one of these sansevierias, they do not like to be watered very often at all. In fact, they kind of rot. They hold water so well, you just don't need to water them that often. Once a month is fine for most of them as houseplants. Now, I know there are parts of the country where you can grow these outdoors. They do need more water there. Here in Zone 9B, they're definitely houseplants, and once a month is plenty. I have this other really great sansevieria I want to share with you. This one. This is Sansevieria fernwood, and I just love how, you know, spiky and funny and just gorgeous it is. The color in it's really nice too, and you can really see the whole snake plant look with this one. The leaves are almost round, there's darker green striping on them, and they're just a very exuberant little plant. The other cool thing about sansevierias in general, you can tuck them away in a very dark spot and they don't mind at all. So that odd, dark little bathroom you have downstairs that people hardly ever use, you can bring a little life into it with one of these cuties. This is Sansevieria fernwood again, one of my absolute favorites. I told you about my top 3 coolest, most unusual houseplants that we have right now. The Monstera Thai Constellation, the Pothos Mandula, and that incredibly gorgeous philodendron Calkins Gold. I just can't get enough of those. They're really amazing. But the other thing that is so delightful, they're very simple anthuriums. Anthuriums are really nice looking houseplants, even when they don't bloom, but then the blooms pop up and they come in a range of colors that just make you happy and go with pretty much any decor and anybody's color scheme. So they had to get a mention today. And talk about easy to grow and pretty much non-stop blooming. We've had one of the black winners blooming for months at this point. Months and months and months. And I'm kind of taken with this purple one. I love the way it looks, but the white one has a gorgeous fresh look to it too. So these two, they want bright indirect light. They do want regular water. They've been potted up in a very mossy mix that holds the moisture nicely. So The regular water, you do have to check on them, but you don't want to just do it once a week because that might be too much, that might be too little. These guys are going on a kind of a once a week schedule right now because their potting mix really holds the water. But if you're living in a different place in the country and don't have the same potting mix that these guys are in, check the soil, just like I showed you. Stick your finger in there, see what it feels like. What you're aiming for is dry at the top and down around your fingertip, down around 1.5 inches. You want it ever so slightly moist. And then when you're watering, you want the water to go all the way to the bottom of the pot because that's where the concentration of roots are. Now, if you forget to water for too long, sometimes the soil separates out from the sides of the pot, and when you go back to water it, the water just runs along the top, down the sides of the pot, and then don't even get anywhere near the roots. So you want to avoid that, obviously. Hey, so let's talk about soil for a minute. Your brand new houseplant that you just brought home from the garden center or the store is probably potted up in a mix to suit it perfectly right now in its little pot. But there's going to come a day that you need to pot it up into something larger, and you want to really do the right thing with it. So again, it's not all the same potting mix is not going to work with all the same houseplants. There's so much information out there. You can go crazy trying to figure the whole thing out. But there are a few simple tricks. Again, when you get your houseplant and you know it's time to pot it up, and you know how I know it's time to pot it up? Not that this one is doing it. When you see the roots sticking out, when the roots are actually trying to reach, this one is no good because it's still perfectly happy in its little pot. But just imagine it, little roots sticking out through the bottom of the pot. That's telling you it's time to pot this plant up. Now you want to do a couple of things. You want to check the type of soil that it's in already. If your houseplant's happy, of course. If it's already struggling and not looking happy, you might want to change up that soil entirely. But if your plant is happy, that soil mix is a good one. And what you want to try to do as close as possible is to match it. All houseplants come in from different places. There's a lot of different soil mixes out there. You want to get it as close to its current mix as possible. So a lot of times, something like a real regular, fantastic indoor-outdoor potting mix is all you're going to need. But sometimes you need a little more. Sometimes you're going to find out that it's a real mossy sort of a mix. Then you're going to add some moss. Now, moss comes in all shapes and sizes. This is a bale of sphagnum moss, and one bale of this goes a really long way. And you can do something as simple as mixing it, a third of this with 2/3 of the regular potting soil, mix, 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 and pot your houseplant up into that. Now, other plants need a little better drainage and less moisture holding capabilities. And that's what the moss gives you, is better moisture holding capabilities. So your ferns are going to be thrilled to bits in this, and other various plants that need a lot of water around their roots. They don't want to be sitting in the water, but they do want to have that moisture easily accessed when they need it. But your other plants, such as your succulents or your bromeliads or all of those ones that don't need as much water, they're going to want a little better drainage. Again, you can mix up your regular potting soil with perlite, with pumice, even with orchid bark. This adds a nice little bit of acidity, some good organic matter, and really aerates your soil. And a lot of houseplants are real happy with this mix that you can make. You can tell it yourself when you're making this mix. Your houseplants are going to be thrilled to bits. So yeah, experiment a bit. There's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of houseplants out there. Get to know your houseplants, get to know how they're the happiest, and you're going to have so much fun doing this. But don't rush it. Don't pot your plants up too soon. Wait for them to really, really show you that it's time for them to get potted up. I know everybody here is potted up so perfectly. Nobody is pot bound or trying to escape their pots, or I could demonstrate it for you. But yeah, I've got a bunch of happy houseplants here right now. A perfect indoor jungle, and every one of these plants are looking really good, really happy, except for that poor deer fern who is now in recovery in the back. So there you go, everybody. I just had to bring one more plant over because it is such an amusing plant. It looks like it's fake. It's absolutely not. This is Calafia lancifolia, and it looks like somebody's hand painted it very, very carefully. The underside of the leaves are purple. Look at the top side. Insane, right? Absolutely gorgeous. Just as easy to take care of as all the other houseplants that I told you about today. Now, I didn't touch on pests because if you follow these simple, easy tricks of knowing the right light, knowing the right moisture, and having the right soil, you shouldn't be bothered by pests. However, if you are, come on in and we'll help you figure out what. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching today. I really hope this was helpful. Hope you enjoyed the video. Go around your house, see where needs a houseplant. Make that indoor space of yours lively and green and happy. And you know it's really good for the air quality too, right? You cannot go wrong with any of these houseplants. They're absolutely stunning and just, you know, as good as pets half the time. Seriously. But if you can't drop by Cottage Gardens, of course, drop me a comment. Let me know what your favorite houseplant is. I would love to know. I have a couple at home that are, oh my goodness, I have this Hoya at home that I know I shared a video about before. It is unbelievable. You got to go find that video. And it's even bigger than it was before. It keeps going. I can't paint my bedroom because of this thing, but I love it. Totally love it. So there you go, people. Facebook, Instagram, comments, what's your favorite houseplant? Come on in and visit me. Have a wonderful time gardening. And remember, if you can't go outside because it's too hot, you can do your indoor garden some wonderful, wonderful favors by taking care of your houseplants. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful couple of days, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.